Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, EQA Nostalgia here, and today I want to offer you guys 15 tips for Metal Gear Solid 5. Okay, so tip number 1, once you get your Fulton device leveled up to a decent enough level, you're going to want to make sure you're getting those resource containers, and the best way to do that is to interrogate soldiers. Always interrogate if you have the option, by the way. I should just put that out there. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, but make sure you're doing that because they will mark your map for resources, and especially containers. Whenever they give away the position of containers, I'm always very happy about that. And there is one area I noticed that has a pretty high concentration of these containers. It's the Central Afghanistan Base Camp. And it's a place that's kind of hard to break into. It's not too bad, but once you get up in there, there's 4 or 5 of these things all clustered together, so it's a really nice place. I'm pretty certain they respawn up there, so keep an eye on that. Tip number 2, if you happen to tranquilize an enemy, you can go up to them and kick them and then interrogate them. So this is something you want to make sure you're doing. Like I said before, it's kind of obvious. Try not to kill them if you don't have to, because information is always a good thing. You do not benefit from killing them. Some missions are a little insane where I can see where you might have to, but try to trank them if you can't get up close enough to them, because then you can just kick them, interrogate them anyways. And once you do that, be sure to choke them out, because in my experience, from what I've seen, the enemies that you choke out stay down the longest. They don't get up as quickly as the ones that you trank, or the ones that you brutalize by just flipping onto the ground or throwing into a wall. Tip number 3, make sure you get the gunsmiths ASAP. This is going to pop up, at least it did for me, as soon as I got into Africa, and shortly after Africa. You're going to want to get these guys because they're going to help a lot with just developing weapons, and one of them even allows you to customize your vehicles, which is pretty cool. So get them as soon as you can, and don't worry if you fail the mission. I kind of panicked when I failed the first mission. You can undertake it again. You just have to either return to Mother Base or start another mission. These are side op missions, so some people will be skipping them and just going straight for the main story. I don't recommend doing that. Keep an eye on those side missions. And that, of course, brings me to tip number 4. Make sure you get the translators ASAP. This is another thing that is considered side missions. So it's something that you could definitely skip if you're not paying attention. Most people will probably pick up on this, but when you get into Afghanistan shortly after the game begins, you'll be able to take out an interrogator. Same thing with Africa, so make sure you get those guys. Tip number 5, and also having to do with the side ops, make sure you get the highly skilled soldiers and prisoners. This is something that's pretty damn important, guys. If you don't have a good staff, you're just going to have a harder time developing everything all around. So make sure you do that. Don't skip those. Tip number 6, you can redo missions for GMP, so if you find yourself lacking funds, be sure to do that. Tip number 7, make sure you upgrade your R&D platform ASAP, because once you get around to the midpoint of the game, it starts to get a little bit harder to get fuel resources because everything demands fuel resources for some reason in this game, and it seems like those are a little bit harder to come by, so you're going to want to get that out of the way quickly. You're also going to want to prioritize your base development platform because that's going to help you with materials, so get that early on. That's definitely going to be a boon to helping you bring those materials in, and it also speeds up the processing time. Tip number 8, be very careful with time switches. If it goes from night to day or vice versa, the shifts of the enemies are going to change and new enemies are going to come out, and if you don't have them tagged and you're not using D-Dog to tag them for you, you could find yourself getting ambushed. It is a pain in the ass having to retag them, but I find that this usually happens when you're out just kind of doing free roam and you forget about time. During the main missions, I don't think this will be too much of a concern. Tip number 9, listen to those cassette tapes. I keep seeing people complain that there's not enough story in this game, and I do sympathize. I get it. This isn't a very traditional Metal Gear Solid game. The story isn't constantly being driven forward, but those tapes are going to help to fill out that story. We don't have the codec anymore. You're not being paged and talking with people. So make sure you listen to those tapes. I know damn well the people that are doing the most complaining about lack of story are not listening to their tapes. They're just letting it pile up. So take some time to do that. And also, you can listen to your tapes on the go. You don't have to be sitting on the helicopter to do this. You can do that on the ground. Tip number 10, make sure you switch up your tactics, because if you rely on a single tactic like, say, shooting enemies in the head with a tranquilizer gun, they're going to start wearing helmets. This can be countered to a certain extent with your combat unit. You can send them out on missions to sabotage the helmets and stuff like that, but it's just something that you're not going to want to get in the habit of doing the same thing constantly, and the game's more fun if you switch things up anyways. Tip number 11, as soon as you get the medical platform, I mean the instant it's done, go to the medical platform, go all the way up to the top floor, and you'll see a door with a blue light over it. Go inside of that room. I'm not going to tell you why, just do it. And then after you do that, make sure you come back and visit it regularly. Also, I should point out, please don't put any spoilers in the comment section, because I'm going to be removing them, and if you spoil the game for somebody, you're a dick. Tip number 12, make sure you're taking a look at the stats of enemies before you faulten them away. This is kind of self-explanatory, but there is a need to fill out your team, but not that much of a need. You can find enemies with at least B stats. I say go for those, and after a while, you can manage your team. It's kind of something that's really not that fun to do, but you're going to want to make sure you're taking a look, making sure you don't have any like E-rank guys that aren't doing anything for you, and replacing them regularly. Tip number 13, use Quiet and max out your bond with her. Even if you like D-Dog, I'm one of those guys who prefers D-Dog because I like to stealth, and he is great for that, but you're going to want to use her and max her out, or you're not going to get her full story, so be sure to do that. Tip number 14, make sure you're having fun with your weapons. And I know that kind of sounds strange, you're probably thinking, what do you mean? Well, in most Metal Gear Solid games, we're accustomed to playing as stealthily as possible. In this game, you have the option to get all sorts of shit, like grenade launchers and rocket launchers. Use those weapons. You don't want to get to the end of the game only using tranquilizers. I mean, sure, that's fine if that's something you do, but at least on the side ops, go through and just tear shit up. Just have fun with your weapons, man. And to be honest, the ranking system in this is pretty relaxed. Blowing stealth doesn't really mess things up too much. So yeah, develop those weapons and tear shit up. Tip number 15, C2W. This is a mission that you guys are going to get to know very well, because this mission can be completed without even getting off the chopper. You can destroy the comms equipment from the chopper and effectively get an S ranking with this, so you can grind GMP with it, and it's also really good for raising your buddy level with your buddies. Okay guys, so that does it for this video. If you found it useful, I ask that you please leave a like so that others see it. If you have any tips and tricks of your own, please leave them in the comment section so others will read them. If this is your first time into my channel, I ask that you please subscribe. I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video.